Children, today we are going to start a new chapter, redox reaction. Now, transformation of matter from one kind to another takes place through various reactions. One of them is redox reactions. Redox reaction, according to classical concept, in that the term oxidation was defined as the addition of oxygen or electronegative element to substance, or removal of hydrogen or electropositive element from the substance. For example, 2 Mg plus O2 is giving you 2 MgO. So in this you see what is happening. 2 MgO has been added. Alright, similarly 2Na plus Cl2 gives you 2NaCl. Cl again is electronegative, so it has been added to sodium. 2H2S plus O2 gives you 2H2O plus 2S. So these are all oxidation reactions. CH4 plus 2O2 is giving you CO2 plus 2H2O. In this C, H is the electropositive element. H has plus 1 valency, so it has been removed. And in its place, oxygen, which is electronegative, has been added. So, oxidation is addition of oxygen or electronegative element or removal of hydrogen or electropositive element from a substance. Similarly, reduction. Reduction is defined as removal of oxygen or electronegative element from a substance or addition of hydrogen or electropositive element to a substance. So example is, suppose 2HgO. It gives you 2Hg plus O2. So electronegative oxygen has been removed from HgO. So this is reduction reaction. 2FeCl3 plus H2. It gives you 2FeCl2 plus 2HCl. So from here one chlorine atom has been removed. From FeCl3 it has been changed to FeCl2. So again removal of electronegative element. So this is reduction. Alright. CH2 plus H2 gives you C2H6. This is also reduction. Why? Because in this the hydrogen has been added to each carbon. So this is addition of electropositive element to the substance. So these are the examples of reduction reactions. Now oxidation and reduction always occur simultaneously. A substance in a reaction can only be oxidized if other substance in reaction is reduced. So oxidation can take place only when some other substance is getting reduced. Like for example, 2FeCl3 plus SnCl2 gives you 2FeCl2 plus SnCl4. Now in this case, FeCl3, it is undergoing reduction. Why? Because removal of electronegative atom, chlorine, has been removed. From FeCl3, it has got converted to FeCl2. And SnCl2 has got converted to SnCl4. So, SnCl2 is simultaneously being oxidized. Alright, due to addition of electronegative atom chlorine. Now, in terms of electron transfer reactions, oxidation is the process in which electrons are lost by an atom or molecule. Therefore, it is also called as de-electronation. Like sodium, when it loses an electron, it forms Na plus 1 electron. So this reaction is oxidation. Similarly, S2 minus gives you S plus 2 electrons. So these are the examples of oxidation or electronation in terms of electron transfer. Similarly, if you look at this reaction, Cu2 plus 2 electrons is giving you Cu. Now this is a process in which electron is being gained by an atom, ion or molecule. So this reaction is reduction reaction. Similarly, Fe3 plus electron, it is giving you Fe2 plus. O minus plus electron, it is giving you O2 minus. So these are all reduction process, or they are also called as electronation. Oxidation was called de-electronation and reduction is called electronation. Next we come to oxidizing and reducing agents. Substance which accepts electron, it is called as oxidizing agent. And the substance which gives or supplies electron, that is called as reducing agent. Alright, so reducing agent is itself oxidized. Like for example, Zn plus 2 Ag plus is giving you Zn2 plus 2 Ag. Now in this, Zn is getting converted to Zn2 plus. So cation is formed when 2 electrons are lost. So this is acting as reducing agent. And those 2 electrons are being accepted by silver. So silver here is acting as oxidizing agent. Okay. So the tendency of metals to lose electrons is different for different metals. Similarly, tendency of cation to accept electron is different. This competition for losing or gaining electron to gives rise to metal activity series or electrochemical series, which is used in the construction of galvanic cell. Okay, now we come to oxidation number. Oxidation number is also referred to as oxidation state. Now it is defined as the real or imaginary charge which an atom appears to have when it is in a combination. It can also be defined as the number of electrons lost or gained when its one atom comes in combined state from its uncombined state. Like if we take the example of NaCl. Oxidation number of sodium, Na, it loses 1 electrons and becomes Na plus. So oxidation number of sodium is plus 1. And in case of chlorine, it accepts that 1 electron and becomes Cl minus. So oxidation number of chlorine atom is minus 1. Now there are certain rules for calculation of oxidation number. What are the rules? First rule is in elements in free or uncombined state, every atom has 0 oxidation number, like in case of H2. So every hydrogen atom will have 0. O2, because it is not combined with anything, so it will be 0. But same H2, if it come in case of water, it becomes H2O, then it will not have 0, it will become plus 1. Alright, so in uncombined, when it is combining with its own atoms, then the oxidation state will be 0. Like in case of P4, S8, sodium, magnesium, they all have oxidation number 0. Second is for ions composed of only one atom, oxidation number is equal to the charge on the ion. If an ion is in uncombined state, then whatever is the charge on ion, that is its oxidation number. Like Na plus will have oxidation number plus 1. Fe2 plus will have oxidation number plus 2. Al3 plus will have oxidation number plus 3. Cl minus will have minus 1. O2 minus will have minus 2. Third rule is oxidation number of oxygen is minus 2 in all the compounds except for peroxides, superoxides and oxygen fluorides. Apart from these three, wherever oxygen is there, oxidation number is minus 2. Like in case of peroxides, oxygen has oxidation number minus 1, H2O2. So in that case, hydrogen peroxide, oxidation number of oxygen will be minus 1. Similarly, in case of superoxides, Oxygen has oxidation number minus half. In OF2 and O2F2, for OF2 oxidation number is plus 2, and for O2F2 oxidation number is plus 1. So oxygen is one atom whose oxidation number keeps on varying. Now fourth point is oxidation number of hydrogen is plus 1 in all its compounds except in metallic hydrides like sodium hydride, NaH. So sodium always has oxidation plus 1, and when hydrogen will combine with it, the oxidation number of hydrogen becomes minus 1. BaH2. Here also barium has plus 2 oxidation number, so hydrogen has minus 1. In all its compound, fluorine has oxidation number of minus 1. Sixth point is oxidation number of iron is equal to the electrical charge which it has, like Na plus has plus 1, Fe2 plus 2. This I have already explained. Seventh point is algebraic sum of oxidation number of all atoms in a neutral molecule must be 0. Like for example, NaCl is a neutral molecule. So oxidation number of Na is plus 1 and of Cl is minus 1. So plus 1 minus 1 becomes equal to 0. So total sum should come out to be 0 because the molecule is neutral. So it cannot have any charge. So that way you can cross check whether you have calculated the oxidation number correctly. Okay. Eighth point is oxidation number of all alkali metals, alkaline earth metals and aluminium. For all alkali metals, oxidation number is plus 1. Alkali metal is sodium, potassium, that first group. Alkaline earth metals, the second group, will always have oxidation number plus 2. And aluminium will always have oxidation number plus 3 in all its compounds. Okay, so from this it is clear that metallic elements have positive oxidation number and non-metallic elements can have positive or negative oxidation number both. Highest positive oxidation number for p block element is equal to group 10, for group 10, okay, and highest negative oxidation number for p block elements is equal to the number of valence electrons of group 8. Atom of transition elements usually displays several positive oxidation states. Oxidation number of a metal in a compound is sometimes represented by Stoch notation, in which oxidation number is expressed by putting a Roman numeral in brackets. So Roman numeral is put in brackets after the symbol of the metal in molecular formula. For example, let me just show you an example. Au3Cl3. So Au, this is for silver. Within brackets, we write in Roman the oxidation number of, Au is gold. Oxidation number of gold, that is 3. So in Roman numerals, we have written 3 and then we write Cl3, and this 3, as you know, should be, just a minute. So this is, yeah. So this Au3Cl3. So in this case, this 3 is representing what? The oxidation state of gold, which is given in parenthesis or in brackets. Okay, so this is how the metals, for the metals, oxidation number is mentioned. Okay. Now, if in an organic compound containing carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, oxidation number of carbon can be determined by a formula, which is given here. Oxidation number of carbon is equal to NO into 2 minus NH divided by NC. Okay, where NO is the number of oxygen atoms, NH is the number of hydrogen atoms, and NC is the number of carbon atoms. Okay. So for any compound which is having carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, you just count the number of oxygen atoms, number of oxygen atoms, number of hydrogen atoms and number of carbon atoms, and you can get the oxidation number of carbon for that compound. Now in a coordinate bond, coordinate bond in which both the electrons taking part in bond formation are given by a single atom. So in coordinate bond, if donor atom is less electronegative than acceptor atom, then assign oxidation number +2 to the donor atom and -2 to the acceptor atom. Now in a coordinate bond, you know this, +2 to the donor, -2 to the acceptor. Alright. Now in case in coordinator bond, if donor atom is more electronegative than the acceptor, then neglect the contribution of coordinate bond, like in case of HNC molecule. HCN molecule is okay. Since nitrogen is more electronegative than carbon, the coordinate contribution is neglected. So it forms 3 covalent bonds. So the oxidation number of carbon will become +1 -3 plus X is equal to 0. So X is +2. So in this case, oxidation number of carbon is +2. Alright. Similarly, if you take third point, let's see the example of Marshall's acid. Formula of Marshall's acid is H2S2O8. This is Marshall's acid. H2S2O8. Okay. Now it has one peroxo linkage. So now for sulfur atom, 2x, you can write 2x plus 2 into -1 for 2 oxygen atoms, because peroxide hai, so oxygen valency will be -1. Then plus 2 into +1 for 2 hydrogen atoms, plus 6 into -2. There are 6 oxygen atoms which are normal oxides. So their oxidation state is -2. Whereas for 2 oxygen, they are peroxide, so their oxidation state is -1. And this whole total should be equivalent to 0. So if you calculate, so you get X is equal to +6. So this shows that the oxidation state of sulfur is +6. So this way, by using this formula, you can calculate. Alright. Now fractional oxidation number is also there. In certain compounds, calculation of oxidation number gives a fractional number. The fractional oxidation state actually represents the average of oxidation states of several atoms in a structure. Like for example, Fe3O4. Now oxidation number of Fe in Fe3O4, if we have to find, let us take it as X. So we have, because there are 3 Fe molecules, so you can write 3x plus 4 oxygen atoms, so you can write 3x plus 4 into -2 is the oxidation state of oxygen. And it should, because this is a neutral molecule, it should come out as 0. So 3x minus 8 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 8 upon 3. So this is fractional. Okay. So there are certain compounds in which oxidation number is fractional. Another example is Na2S4O6. Now see the structure of Na2S4O6. From this structure, it is clear that sulfur atoms acting as donor atoms have +5 oxidation number. But sulfur atom involved in pure covalent bonding have 0 oxidation number each. See, These are the sulfur atoms which are in pure covalent bonding. Sulfur is combining with sulfur. So here the oxidation number will be 0. But this sulfur and this sulfur will have oxidation number +5. Okay. So average oxidation number will become +5 into 2 plus 0 into 2 divided by 4. So it becomes +2.5. So this is how fractional oxidation number is calculated. Now next is, in some cases when the above rules are applied, correct oxidation number are not obtained. In such cases, oxidation numbers are determined by chemical bonding method. Like for example, you take CrO5. This is the structure of CrO5. Okay, one oxygen is through a double bond, others are by single bond with Cr, and oxygen, they are bounded with each other. So there are two peroxide. This is peroxide and this is also peroxide. There are two peroxide linkages. So that means two of the oxygen, they have oxidation number -1. So X plus, for chromium we can take oxidation state as X, okay, plus 1 into -2. This one, -2. One oxygen which is bounded to directly to chromium and nothing else. So the oxidation state of this oxygen is -2. So 1 into -2, and these 4, they are forming peroxide linkage. So 4 into -1 should come equal to 0. So if you calculate, you get X, value of X will come to +6. Okay, so oxidation state of chromium is +6. Similarly, if you take Carros acid, that is H2SO5. Now if you look at H2SO5 again, there is one peroxo linkage. These two oxygen, they are linked to each other. So this is peroxide linkage, one peroxide linkage. So if we take the oxidation state of S as X, so you can write X plus 2 into +1 for hydrogen. There are two hydrogen atoms, each having +1 oxidation state. So 2 into +1 plus 3 oxygen atoms which are having oxidation state 1, 2 and 3, which are having oxidation state -2. So 3 into -2, and 2 oxygen atoms which are having oxidation state -1. So +2 into -1, and it should come out, the sum should come to equal to 0. So if you calculate, you will get the value of X will come as +6. Okay. Another example, let us take carbon suboxide. Carbon suboxide formula is C3O2. C3O2. Now in this case, this carbon has oxidation state +2. This carbon, it has oxidation state 0 because it is bounded on both sides with carbon only, no other atom. So oxidation state will be 0. And this carbon again has oxidation state +2. So average oxidation state will come out as 2 plus 0 plus 2 upon 3. That comes to be 4 upon 3. Similarly, B3O8, tribromo octa oxide. These are 3 bromine. Now in this case, this bromine atom, because it is bounded to 3 oxygen, -2, -2, -2, so this becomes +6. This one also -2, -2, -2, so this becomes +6. And this bromine in the center, it is bounded to 2 oxygen, -2 and -2, so this becomes +4. So average oxidation state becomes 6 plus 6 plus 4, that is 16 upon 3. Alright. So in this way you can calculate the oxidation number for various atoms in a compound. Now next is difference between valency and oxidation number. So valency is the combining capacity of element, whereas oxidation number is the real or imaginary charge present on the atom of element in combined state. Valency for an element is fixed. Oxidation number can have different values for an element. Valency is always a whole number. Oxidation number can be a whole number or fractional. It can be also positive or negative. Valency is never zero except for noble gases. Oxidation number may be zero. Okay. Next we come to oxidation and reduction in terms of oxidation number. So when you look at in terms of oxidation number, then oxidation is an increase in the oxidation number of the element. If oxidation number of an element is increasing, like from plus 2 it has become plus 3, like Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus. So from plus 2 Fe has become plus 3, so that is oxidation. And reduction is obviously the opposite, a decrease in the oxidation number of an element, that is called as reduction. Oxidizing agent, a reagent which can increase the oxidation number of an element, that is called as, which is causing oxidation, it is called as oxidizing agent. So in a given substance or atom or ion or molecule, if it can readily accept electrons from the other substances, then it is an oxidizing agent. Reducing agent, it is a reagent which lowers the or decreases the oxidation number of an element in a given substance or atom, ion or molecule, and it can readily lose electrons to other substances. Okay, so this is oxidation and reduction in terms of oxidation number. Next we come to redox reaction, a reaction in which change in oxidation number of interacting species is taking place. That is called as redox reaction. Like let us take an example. 4p plus 5O2 is giving you 2p2O5. Now in this case 4p, phosphorus has combined with no other elements, uncombined state mein hai, so oxidation number of phosphorus is 0. Oxygen also is in uncombined state, so its oxidation number is 0. And in P2O5, oxidation number of phosphorus is plus 5 and oxygen is minus 2. So phosphorus oxidation state has increased from 0 to plus 5. So phosphorus has undergone oxidation. Oxygen oxidation number has decreased from 0 to minus 2. So it has undergone, oxygen has undergone reduction. And this reaction in which both oxidation and reduction are taking place, it is called as redox reaction. Phosphorus, because it has undergone oxidation, it is reducing agent. See, it's opposite. If it is undergoing oxidation, it will act as reducing agent, and if it is undergoing reduction, it will act as oxidizing agent. So oxygen is the oxidizing agent in this reaction and phosphorus is the reducing agent in this reaction. Next we come to types of redox reactions. There are various types of redox reactions, actually 4 types. First type is combination reaction. A compound is formed by chemical combination of 2 or more elements. So all combustion reactions come under the category of combination reaction. Like example, CH4 plus 2O2 gives you CO2 plus 2H2O. Now in this case, carbon oxidation state was minus 4. From minus 4 it has become plus 4. Hydrogen oxidation state plus 1. It has remained plus 1. Hydrogen oxidation number doesn't change. Oxygen was in uncombined state. It was 0. From 0 it has become minus 2. So here carbon oxidation state is increasing from minus 4 to plus 4 and in oxygen, oxidation number is decreasing from 0 to -2. So oxygen is undergoing reduction and carbon is undergoing oxidation. So this is a redox reaction, and such type of reactions, they are called as combination reactions, because they are two substances are combining to give you new type of substances. Similarly, C plus O2 is giving you CO2. Both carbon and oxygen initially were having oxidation number 0. Carbon has changed from 0 to +4, and oxidation number of oxygen has changed from 0 to -2. So it is a redox reaction. Alright, next is decomposition reactions. The reactions are opposite to combination reaction. It involves breakdown of a, decomposition means breakdown. So a bigger compound breaks down in two or more components with at least one of which must be in elemental stage. For example, H2O is breaking down into 2H2 plus O2. Okay, so H2O, in H2O, hydrogen was having oxidation state 1, oxygen -2, and it has broken down into hydrogen, pure hydrogen, oxidation state 0, oxygen, again oxidation state 0. Similarly, 2KClO3, this is breaking down into 2KCl plus 3O2. So potassium oxidation state was +1, it remains +1 because alkali metals always have +1. Chlorine had a oxidation number +5 and it has become -1. Oxygen had oxidation number -2 and it has become 0. So oxidation number of oxygen has increased and of chlorine has decreased. So you can say that chlorine has undergone reduction and oxygen has undergone oxidation. So this type of reactions, they are called as, in which a bigger compound is breaking down into smaller compounds. They are called as decomposition reactions. Next is displacement reaction. Displacement, as you know, one atom is removed from its place and some other atom takes its place, like X plus YZ. So the position of Y has been taken by X now. So it becomes XZ plus Y. So this type of reaction, in which an ion or an atom of in a compound is replaced by an ion or atom in another element, it is called as displacement reaction. They are of two types. First is metal displacement. A metal in a compound is displaced by another metal in uncombined state, like CuSO4 plus Zn. So the Cu is replaced by zinc now. It gives you Cu plus ZnSO4. Alright, and non-metal displacement, in which hydrogen displacement, and it is a rarely occurring reaction involving oxygen displacement. Oxygen displacement also takes place, but that is very rare. Mostly non-metal displacement is hydrogen displacement, like 2Na plus 2H2O gives you 2NaOH plus H2, Mg plus 2HCl gives you MgCl2 plus H2, 2H2O plus F2 gives you 2HF plus O2, Cl2 plus 2KBr gives you 2KCl plus Br2, Br2 plus 2I minus gives you 2Br minus plus I2. So these are the non-metal displacement reactions. And the fourth type, it is disproportionation reaction. In this reaction, an element in one oxidation state is simultaneously oxidized and reduced. Same metal, same atom, same element is undergoing oxidation as well as reduction. So the element in the form of reacting substance is in intermediate oxidation state, and both higher and lower oxidation states of that element are formed in the reaction. Like for example, if you take this reaction, 2H2O2 gives you 2H2O plus O2. Now in this case, in peroxide, hydrogen oxidation state was +1, oxygen was -1. In water, hydrogen oxidation state remains the same, +1, but oxygen from -1 it becomes -2. And in O2, because it is an uncombined state, oxygen becomes 0. So you see oxidation number of oxygen has changed from -1 to -2 and from -1 to 0. So oxygen has undergone both oxidation as well as reduction. Similarly, in this reaction, P4 plus 3OH minus plus 3H2O gives you PH3 plus 3H2PO2. Now, if you look at this reaction and if you look at the oxidation state of phosphorus, now in P4, because it is uncombined, oxidation number is 0. But here in PH3, because hydrogen is +1 and there are 3 hydrogens, so in PH3 oxidation number of phosphorus is -3. Whereas in H2PO2 minus, this oxidation state of phosphorus is +1. So phosphorus oxidation state is changing from 0 to -3